Welcome to Stage 2 of the Amgen Breakaway from Heart Disease Women's Race, empowered with SRAM, the next stop on the UCI Women's World Tour for our second day in beautiful South Lake Tahoe. Perfect weather greeting the riders for the second day of racing around this gorgeous landscape where we'll once again finish up at the Heavenly Resort. My name is Brad Soner, here with Laura Winter from Vox Women. Laura, an incredible day on tap for Stage 2.
It's going to be spectacular. Beautiful, beautiful Lake Tahoe. This morning a little bit colder though than yesterday. You can see the riders here wrapped up very warm indeed. The two big players there as well, Megan Guarnier and Anna van der Breggen. Their teammate there, Kristin Armstrong, the Luxembourg national champion too. A
lot of pressure on the shoulder of Boels Dolmans. It'll be up to this team, United Healthcare, to challenge them on the final climb. We saw Ruth Winder with a very good day yesterday as she came up fourth place, 20 seconds down on GC. We're also going to be watching Katie Hall for the American registered United Healthcare team. 42 degrees, the high temperature today, although it was very chilly this morning as the riders got ready for another tough day of racing.
There was even some snow in the air. It's going to be so interesting to see the impact that will have.
108 kilometers on tap today, another rather big loop. They will do a couple circuits around the feed zone after they go over that Category 2 QOM climb on Highway 89. After they make it through the feed zone, there's one sprint at Sheridan, and then the big climb of the day. Talking about the Daggett Summit, that'll be the deciding factor in this race.
And then, of course, we have the finishing climb up to the Heavenly Resort at South Lake Tahoe. Yet again, we will see that epic finish we witnessed yesterday.
So much more climbing on the stage today. It's all about that final QOM. We caught up with three-time Olympic gold medalist Kristin Armstrong for her thoughts.
Stage 2 is going to be like the Queen stage. Just shortly after we start, there's a Category 2 climb that they're going to hit, which is going to create, I think, quite the explosion. In my mind, I would think that teams with sprinters and teams that don't have pure climbers are going to want to get a breakaway early, because Category 2 climb at altitude, with it being an average of right below 6%, is going to be really difficult for non-climbers to stay there. And then when you hit that Category 1 climb, the biggest climb of the day, at the peak of that, you only have about 7 miles to the finish line. And so there's not much recovery time, and most of it's downhill. So there's only a handful of what I consider pure climbers here that could take this stage, but I think that there's enough teams here that if they play it smart, it will be really hard for teams to get together and chase a breakdown if you have the right combination.
I think a lot of riders got a brutal wake-up call yesterday when it comes to the altitude here at South Lake Tahoe. As the riders got underway today, though, the sun peeking out from behind the clouds as we get underway for day 2 of racing.
Corinne Rivera there, center of the shot, the first American man or woman to win the Tour of Flanders. What can she do today on what is going to be a much hillier stage than we saw yesterday? She was 7th there, though, so she's clearly got good form, Brad.
Yeah, yesterday a big test for Rivera. Today is going to be even bigger. I don't know if she's going to be able to hang in this front group. We'll find out a little over 100 kilometers from now as they take off the neutral section through South Tahoe, leaving the Heavenly Resort, and they'll come back for the finish in about 3.5 hours from now.
It's going to be a long and lumpy stage indeed, and I know before the start the riders weren't quite sure what to actually wear. You can see Megan Guarnier there, who is the race leader, not sporting the yellow. She's got a jacket on over the top because it is really quite cold.
I think you're going to see a lot of riders going back to the cars today to either give or take clothing from their directors and mechanics back in the cars. There's Ruth Winder sitting 4th place overall, 20 seconds down. That United Healthcare team has a big opportunity today because remember, they're also looking at Katie Hall, who is a tremendous long-distance climber, only 30 seconds down on GC.
Anna van der Breggen just taking off her jacket as the sun begins to warm things up. And already the action hotting up as well. Juliet Laboux of Team Sunweb giving it a go, just 18 years old and the youngest rider in this race.
Oh, can't imagine Boels Dolmans is going to give her a ton of time off the front at just 1:03 down on GC. She is a major threat to that yellow jersey of Megan Guarnier. So Boels Dolmans will probably just feather this gap, keep it somewhere below 1 minute, and they'll bring her back when they're comfortable, probably before they get to that QOM.
I'd imagine United Healthcare will also play a part in trying to keep any breakaways under control. You can see the wind there in the way that Megan Guarnier's jacket is flapping about. It is windy out there today, and it will be very, very tough for a solo breakaway to make any sort of headway on this course.
Good look at United Healthcare sitting back in the peloton. There is Katie Hall, 30 seconds down on GC. Again, this is a course tailor-made for someone like Katie Hall. Yesterday was a little tougher, but today, Katie Hall's got a good shot.
We've seen Laboux now on the first climb of the day up Highway 89, and she's moving well. The 18-year-old there really making a mark on this race.
Well, sure enough, take a look at the jerseys on the front of the peloton. That is Boels-Dolmans in the orange with the blue shorts, and United Healthcare not far behind with 3 riders as they approach the first QOM.
Now we see Laboux just cresting the summit of the first QOM of the day, taking maximum points. What's going to happen behind her as we see moves begin to fly out the front?
This looks like Kristin Armstrong in the Lexus QOM jersey. That is going to be Katie Hall from United Healthcare on the wheel. So Armstrong launches a big move off the front, but here comes Katie Hall right around Kristin Armstrong. What a move from the American.
Just dancing on the pedals there to take second place in that QOM. Just the first of the day, though, of 3 climbs. So these riders have got to keep some of the powder dry today.
So those 2 will go back into the group. They are not interested in a breakaway. They just wanted the QOM points. Maybe the same story with Laboux here, although she does look to be descending pretty quickly on the way down. This is the catch being made as Laboux will go back into the group, and this looks like Show Air 2020 sending one of their riders off the front. I believe that's Jasmine During.
But look behind, in blue, a figure from United Healthcare Pro Cycling. They are going to be chasing down any counterattacks to make sure they keep everything under control here.
And I wouldn't expect to see the United Healthcare riders go to the front once they get into that group. They're just trying to sit on the breakaway just to make act as a little insurance in case that breakaway does stay away. More gorgeous images from out on course. This has got to be one of the most beautiful bicycle races in the world.
It is truly spectacular up here in Lake Tahoe. I'm blown away, actually, by the scenery. I mean, the shots as well that the cameras are getting here, they're absolutely breathtaking.
Boels-Dolmans continues riding on the front. That's going to be the story for most of the day today as they approach the first and only intermediate sprint of the day. Looks like Cylance going to give it a go. Rally sending one of their riders off the front here as well.
That is Kirsten Wild, of course, the sprinter. Emma White of Rally just in second place. Sophie de Voist of Laris Wilddeals in third place.
Emma White, another young rider in the race. Looks like we've got riders down. That is Lindsay Bayer on the ground for the Hagens-Berman Supermint team. Certainly wishing her the best. Did not look good as they made their way through that first intermediate sprint.
And already now we can see the road is going up, and indeed we are on the Kingsbury Grade climb to the Daggett Summit, and no surprises to see the team in front, Brad.
Looks like Canyon SRAM also putting some riders up there, and here goes another move on this climb. Let's take a look at this.
This is Anna van der Breggen. At first, didn't quite recognise her, not wearing the white and blue European kit. Of course, she's in the green points jersey, courtesy of teammate Megan Garnier. She's making the moves now and attacking, and you can see the blistering pace she is setting. By the way, the peloton behind her is strung out. The legs will be screaming, Brad.
Kristin Armstrong right on the wheel. There is Megan Garnier sitting 4th wheel right now. So Anna van der Breggen is trying to split this field. She's trying to thin out the group and shed as many riders as possible before turning it back over to the yellow jersey of Megan Garnier.
She's doing much of the work on front here as we see Katie Hall there of United Healthcare sitting 3rd wheel. I did see just out of shot now a small gap opening up in front of Megan Garnier's wheel. I hope she can stick with the pace that her teammate is setting.
Yeah, this is a major selection happening on the final climb right now as you can see the gaps forming behind them. If you're not in this group right now, you're watching the top 10 positions right away up the road.
And this is such a long climb as well. And don't forget, we're at altitude. So the legs will be screening, but the lungs will be burning as well. And it's going to be really hard work. Corinne Rivera sticking in there with the climbers too.
Pair of riders from the Drops team also looking good. Here comes Team Illuminate across the gap. That is going to be Katarina Nash, the cyclocross rider, joining the team here for the Amgen Breakaway from Heart Disease women's race. Great to see her trying out the legs on the road.
And similarly as well with the drop cycling riders, of course, a British team. And it's great to see them mixing it up there with the big names. And we've just got a Canyon SRAM rider at the back there just struggling to keep up, Elena Amialusic.
More gaps forming here as these riders struggle to stay on the wheel. So this is going to take us down to somewhere between 8 and 10 riders up in the front group. Nash trying to hang on to get up there. And look at this. This is the race right here as the selection being made, driven by Anna van der Breggen on the front for the Boels-Dolmans team.
And just out of shot there, Megan Guarnier was out the saddle trying to stick with this. I think this could be one step too far for Megan Guarnier after what has been a rough spring. Yesterday it all went her way, but today Anna van der Breggen is really putting the hammer down now. She is drilling it on front and her teammate cannot stick with this pace.
Well, there's the first look back for van der Breggen, so now she realizes that her teammate Megan Guarnier is not going to be able to hang with this one. The separation is clear now. We're down to Anna van der Breggen and Katie Hall off the front of this race. And look, van der Breggen is looking back, trying to figure out what to do about Megan Guarnier. It looks like she's trying to wait up just a little bit, but Guarnier's got to have the legs to get up. And here goes Katie Hall, a big attack from the United Healthcare rider.
Anna van der Breggen's got to go with what United Healthcare have got. If Megan Guarnier can't stick with the pace, they've got to at least send someone from Bowles up the road. A real tough dilemma there for van der Breggen, and it's come back together for now. We'll see if Katie Hall wants to go again.
And Katie Hall had a really good opportunity there, isolated with Anna van der Breggen, the yellow jersey, missing the move, but now things calming down on the climb a little bit. Wait for the fireworks. Looks like van der Breggen was going to the back, but now she goes to the front again, and that's Corinne Rivera on the wheel of Anna van der Breggen.
And look at the gap behind them as well. Where's Hall gone? She's got to come and try and stick with the pace being set here. This is a 12.6 kilometre climb, an average of 6%, so it's pretty gradual, not too steep. But it is the length of this climb will really take its toll.
So once again, United Healthcare chases it down. There's Katie Hall tacked on third wheel. And van der Breggen just keeps throwing little attacks at this group, testing the legs of her breakaway companions. There goes Katie Hall now countering that first move. Hall's going to give van der Breggen a dose of her own medicine.
This is true cat and mouse stuff. It's absolutely brilliant. What an advert for women's cycling. Corinne Rivera there on the wheel as well. Such a diminutive figure on the bike, but she's sticking it with the climbers. She's basically a sprinter, but she's truly showing her climbing, her power climbing prowess this season.
Megan Guarnier desperately trying to close the gap right now as the yellow jersey getting left behind. We could very well have a new overall race leader at the end of the day today if this one stays away. Remember, Anna van der Breggen only 8 seconds down on GC. Katie Hall has a little more challenge ahead of her, 30 seconds down on GC, so it really depends on how well Megan Guarnier can hang on to this group.
Anna van der Breggen then driving the pace, and you can see the damage she is doing. Is there any stopping van der Breggen this season? She truly is the rider to beat. But Katie Hall looks to be really giving her a run for her money here.
Another attack by Hall off the front here as the United Healthcare rider gets out of the saddle on this big climb, takes a look back. She does have a little bit of a gap. We'll see if Corinne Rivera can survive this attack, as there is van der Breggen. She's on the wheel, and it looks like this move might have shed Rivera. In fact, there is Rivera going back into the group, so she will get caught by the group led by Megan Guarnier trying to catch back up.
That is the first chase group. I saw Ilanis Sierra in there as well, Ruth Winder I think too. But at the moment out front we have Katie Hall and Anna van der Breggen, the winner of Amstel Gold, of Flèche Wallonne, of Liège-Bastogne-Liège, the first ever Ardennes triple, and now she's smashing it up the Daggett Summit climb here at the Amgen Breakaway from Heart Disease women's race, empowered with SRAM. The race leader Megan Guarnier left down the road.
Yeah, I think this might be it for Guarnier. This is looking more and more like this is going to be the race with Katie Hall and Anna van der Breggen. Hall looking very aggressive here. She really seems to be the antagonist in this breakaway of two.
This is going to be an almighty battle. Of course, van der Breggen did much of the work further down the climb to try and pace Megan Guarnier back up. So now she's happy to sit back and let Katie Hall dictate things.
Yeah, thoroughly impressed with Anna van der Breggen today. Remember, after working on the front of the field all day yesterday and then launching that final attack to deliver Megan Guarnier to the win, I'm impressed that she's able to make it up into this group after the day she had on stage one.
Van der Breggen yesterday brought a break back pretty much single-handedly within a matter of minutes. She really is in fantastic form, and now isolated out in front with Katie Hall.
All right, so up and over the second QOM of the day. That is the Daggett Summit, and now the long descent on the way down. Laura, this could very well come down to who the best descender is on the stage today.
It is a technical descent indeed. Of course, the road's wide and sweeping here, which will mean it'll be a fast descent, but there are a few corners to negotiate as well. And Katie Hall and Anna van der Breggen now wheel for wheel, just trying to make it down.
Well, Katie Hall racing in her home state of California. That's got to give her at least a few watts as we go back with the yellow jersey of Megan Guarnier. That looks like Sienna that is just up in front of the yellow jersey.
Katie Hall has had such an interesting story into cycling. She was working in Seattle and she was sick of her commute. So she went onto Craigslist and bought herself a 1990 Cannondale road bike. 8 years later, she's out here in front at the Women's Tour of California, smashing it.
Oh, the true power of the bicycle. Here comes another attack from Anna van der Breggen, the European champion, launching another one off the front, putting Katie Hall on notice. Just when Hall looked like she was getting comfortable, Anna van der Breggen sees it and launches another move.
And van der Breggen, of course, Olympic bronze medalist in the time trial as well. You do not want her out front solo alone. That is exactly how she won Flèche Wallonne and Liège-Bastogne-Liège. She kicked in the final kilometres and no one could stick with her. But Katie Hall is really fighting back here.
Van der Breggen knows that Katie Hall is a very good climber, so I think she's trying to open up time where she can, which is going to be on the flats. You talked about her time trial prowess, so she's got to take the advantages where she can find them, and right here is a good opportunity for Anna van der Breggen.
Looks like quite a headwind as well in that first chase group, so it is going to be tough for Anna van der Breggen out on her own in front. But at the moment, it looks like she's soloing her way to the line. Of course, we have that South Lake Tahoe climb to come, the third KOM of the day, and the climb that was so successfully negotiated by Boels Dolmans yesterday.
Well, at this point, with the yellow jersey of Megan Guarnier right here on the course, that is going to put Anna van der Breggen into the virtual race leader's jersey. That means if we ended the race right here, van der Breggen would move into yellow. Back with Katie Hall struggling to get on the wheel of van der Breggen, but Hall just will not give up. You got to love the heart of this rider.
She is absolutely suffering. Her legs will be screaming after picking up points today, really, in the QOM climbs. But now, the race win and potentially the GC lead are up for grabs. She's out the saddle and chasing now.
All right, inside the final kilometer of racing as Hall will regain contact with Anna van der Breggen. And now this just becomes a head-to-head battle for the final 800 meters. Hall is going to go right by her, and van der Breggen can't respond. Anna van der Breggen is cracked for the Boels Dolmans team as Katie Hall launches her way past.
I am not used to seeing that. I'm not used to seeing someone kicking and going away from Anna van der Breggen. The season she has had, the form she's been in over in Europe. Katie Hall must realise this, that she's got Anna van der Breggen and she's dropped her.
Megan Guarnier still on the front of the group trying to save her gold Amgen race leader's jersey, but right now that is in the hands of her teammate Anna van der Breggen, who has to catch Katie Hall right here. Remember, Hall 30 seconds down on GC, so she only has to finish 30 seconds ahead of Megan Guarnier to move into the race leader's jersey.
Of course, Boels Dolmans will be happy as a team if the yellow jersey stays within their ranks. So if Anna van der Breggen moves into it, Megan Guarnier would be happy. But UHC, they do not want this. And Katie Hall right now has a gap.
Christabel Doble-Hickok now attacking out of Chase Group 1 as she moves away from the yellow jersey group. Doble-Hickok looks like she may be riding her way onto a podium finish.
It looks like Megan Guarnier can't stick with this attack either. She's had a rough spring, she's come off a concussion, and she's really suffering now.
Katie Hall continuing to drive the pace. That is your race leader on course as the United Healthcare rider drops Anna van der Breggen, and she can't look back now. It's so easy to sit in and say, all right, I'm just going to get comfortable, I'm going to relax a little bit, but Katie Hall has no such luxury today.
Every sinew, every muscle in her body will be telling her just to sit back and let this happen. But she has got to keep attacking because Anna van der Breggen will keep coming and coming and coming. You can see in this lovely long shot here that the distance is not too far at all. Hall now absolutely screaming to the line.
Boy, Katie Hall is digging deep right now. She is in a deep, dark place on the bike as she tries to ride her way to a stage victory here on stage 2 of the Amgen Breakaway from Heart Disease women's race empowered with SRAM.
Can Anna van der Breggen make up that gap? I don't think she can, Brad. I think this is it. I think Katie Hall now is about to ride into the stage victory and potentially the GC lead. Keep your eyes on the clock.
Hall around the final left-hand bend as she sees the 200-meter marker. She'll be able to see the finish line just around this turn. There it is. Katie Hall is just 150 meters away from the biggest win of her career as she gets out of the saddle. She will beat one of the top riders in the sport as she goes head-to-head with Anna van der Breggen here on stage 2 of the Amgen Breakaway from Heart Disease women's race empowered with SRAM. A huge day for Katie Hall and United Healthcare. But remember, it's not just about the stage win today. We're also watching the GC. It's all about the time gap from Katie Hall back to Anna van der Breggen. Hall came into the day 22 seconds down over van der Breggen. There is a 10-second time bonus for the win, 7 seconds for second. So that means that van der Breggen's going to have to cross the line here at 19 seconds or below. Doesn't look like she's going to do it, so the yellow jersey just slips through the hands of the Boels-Dolmans team.
In the distance there, we can also see the sprint for third place. It looks like Christabel Dobel-Hickok is going to cross the line for third place. A fantastic result for the silence rider. Ruth Winder there of United Healthcare. Another fourth for her, but she will surely be so pleased for teammate Hall.
Big ride for the Americans. 3 U.S. riders inside the top 4 as Katie Hall picks up the stage win. There's Megan Garnier coming across the line. A tough day for her, but it's all about Katie Hall, who not only picks up the stage 2 win, but will also move into the yellow jersey heading into our final 2 days of racing here at the Amgen Breakaway from Heart Disease Women's Race, empowered with SRAM. This is a huge day for Katie Hall.
And what a day for United Healthcare as well. Truly a team effort out there. A hug for teammate Taylor Wiles. She came in 9th place. We wondered how they'd bridge the gap to Boels-Dolman. We wondered if they could. Today, they did.
So United Healthcare slays the giant that is Boels-Dolmans as Anna van der Breggen finishes 21 seconds down on the day. Megan Garnier 49 seconds back on the stage. Laura caught up with our stage winner, Katie Hall.
Katie, congratulations. What a ride. Yeah. Talk me through those 2 climbs and the tactics and what went on in what was an epic battle with you and Anna.
It was an epic battle. It was really fun. She's really, really strong and really attacked, or not attacked, but pushed the pace really hard in the first part of the climb. And yeah, then I attacked. It was her and Corinne and I for a little while, and we were trading some attacks, and eventually just Anna and I. And I thought, I can have the KOM if I just keep going. So I just kept going. And then stuck it on the descent. And I was really pulling for a long time, and she attacked me quite good and got a good gap. But I was able to pull her back on the finishing climb, and that was really exciting to me.
It was exciting to everyone at the finish as well. Obviously, Anna van der Breggen, the rider to beat at the moment in Europe. What does it mean to you to beat her?
It feels really nice. It was surprising. I know she is an amazing rider, and I feel honored to just even be in a race. But it's nice because these are our home roads. Like, I live in California. I've ridden all this. I think sometimes we get a little bit of a disadvantage when we're in Europe with the jet lag and the flying over and the being away from home. And so it's fun to have the Euros here where we have a little bit of an advantage, our home roads and just being rested, not having to travel too much. And so, yeah, it was exciting. It's really exciting.
And 2 stages to go.
Yeah.
What are you guys going to do to defend that GC lead?
I have no idea. That is up to the boss. So.
Anna said the same. Think debriefs needed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well done today, Katie.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Katie Hall still shivering in her post-race interview. I think she even surprised herself with that performance today. So here's the situation as we head into Stage 3 tomorrow. Anna van der Breggen has to make up just 3 seconds to move into the GC lead. Laura also caught up with her after the stage today.
Anna, another second place for you today. What are the emotions?
Well, of course it's different today because yesterday Megan was on the first step and today she was not. It was a really hard race and we tried the best, and Katie was really strong in the climb also. So you can say she's a deserved winner, and we tried with all we had to win this stage also. But we did our best, and then Katie did a good job.
And certainly coming into this race, the sentiment was that you guys would be racing for Megan. Today, you rode away on the Kingsbury Grade climb. Talk me through those tactics and how they came about.
Yeah, it's a bit looking how everybody was. I mean, it was a climb like we didn't have this year, so it's difficult to make a plan in front how it goes. And Katie went on the climb pretty fast, so for me it was just following. And it's also a bit difficult because we don't know all the American girls who are racing here. So what to do with it and how we can drop them. I saw Megan was a bit less today. So waiting for the final climb was also a bit of a gamble, and that's how it works. And sometimes it works out if you go fast on the flat. But Katie did pretty good, and then at the final climb she was passing me pretty fast. So.
And the GC now coming down to a matter of seconds. What are you guys going to do?
I have no idea yet. We will see tonight.
Well done today, Anna. Thank you.
So taking a look at some onboard footage with Anna van der Breggen today. What a day to have cameras on the bikes for our big climbing day here at the Amgen Tour of California.
Absolutely amazing as well that two of the best riders in the world will let us put GoPros on their bikes on a climbing stage as well, where really every single power to weight ratio watt is going to be important.
This was the breakaway with Corinne Rivera. Anna van der Breggen eventually dropping her. Now we're on board with Megan Guarnier as she works her way up through the group. Look how steep this climb is, Laura.
You can really see just how tough it is from these kind of pictures. They are absolutely stunning to look at. You feel like you're right in there in the peloton itself.
And then the final run into South Tahoe, the Heavenly Resort, where we finish. That is Ruth Winder just ahead of Megan Guarnier as she works her way through this very familiar finish after finishing first here yesterday. A slightly different result, but Megan Guarnier still having a very good Amgen Tour of California.
And as we see Katie Hall on the top step of the podium and in the yellow jersey, I think this is one of the best days I've ever seen at the Women's Tour of California. What a day, and it's set up to be such a thrilling 2 days. Just 3 seconds separates the two of them. It can all come down to sprints and time bonuses.
So 2 days down and 2 days to go at the Amgen Breakaway from Heart Disease Women's Race Empowered with SRAM. Stage 3 gets underway tomorrow from Elk Grove to Sacramento for just over 73 miles of racing. We'll see you there.